All right, well, first of all, let me just thank everybody for coming out today. Obviously, it's a very big day, a very exciting day here in MSUB, and just want to thank all of you for making the trip out here today. I just want to run down through the direction of how the press conference will go. I'll be introducing Dr. Gray, the Director of Athletics, who will then introduce our brand new head coach here at MSUB. After that, we'll be taking, after some brief remarks, we'll be taking some questions, and then followed by interviews from all the TV stations and the local newspaper. All right, so without further ado, Director of Athletics, Dr. Gary Gray.
Okay. Thanks, Justin. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming. We want to introduce a few folks close to our program. Dr. Stacy Klippenstein, who oversees athletics now, a change administratively this year. That's working out well in student affairs. Julie Seedhouse is here, our Director of Alumni Relations. Dr. Scott Harris, our Faculty Athletics Rep, and Aaron Klinging-Smith from Office of University Relations, and several of our men's basketball players, and other staff. I want to thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. We are very excited to introduce Jamie Stevens as our 13th MSU Billings men's basketball coach. Many of you know Jamie's a former Yellow Jacket and a Hall of Fame Yellow Jacket as well. Jamie is the first alum to lead our men's basketball program. I think that's pretty cool. Of 13, he's our first graduate. In fact, both of our men's basketball coaches, Jamie Stevens and Justin Wetzel, both are MSUB alums. Jamie has 2 degrees from here. Justin is about to receive his master's, so between the 4 of them, they're about to have 4 MSUB degrees, so that's great. Coach Stevens is a great fit with our basketball program and our entire department. His program philosophy matches our program and university philosophy as well. And the purpose of intercollegiate athletics, we think, is a very, very close fit philosophically. He'll recruit student athletes who will strive to be excellent in the classroom, on the court, and in the community. And they will graduate. They'll graduate, and Julie, they'll become engaged alums, just like many people in this room here today are. Coach Stevens is a product of this program. We're confident he'll work hard to mentor, to lead, and to help develop other young men who come through the program in the future, just as he did. Jamie was fun to watch as a point guard. Was fun to watch. He played hard, and I had the pleasure of watching him all 4 years he played since I started as AD at that same time in Jamie's freshman year back in '94. He played hard, as I said, and I know his teams will as well. They'll be fun to watch. And they'll be fun to get to know as they go through their years in our athletic program. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our new head coach, Jamie Stevens.
Justin, you did not tell me brief remarks. Sorry. First of all, it's good to see the players here. As I told you guys yesterday, or 2 days ago, it's a tough situation, the situation you're in, and it's a situation that I was in before. When I was a player, I went through a coaching change between my freshman and sophomore year, and it's a tough situation, and I appreciate your guys' presence here. It shows me a lot. First of all, I'm very, very excited to be back home, and I truly feel like this is a home for me. I want to thank a lot of people, and hopefully I don't forget anybody, and hopefully this doesn't take too long. First of all, the administration at MSU Billings, specifically Dr. Klippenstein, Dr. Gray, they've shown great belief in me to lead this basketball program, and I am honored for your guys' trust. I need to thank my family, first and foremost. I would not be standing out here today without them. And my mom and dad, 3 siblings back in Oregon. Dr. Gray tells the story about when I was a player, and my dad would call in, because this was the early '90s, guys. There was no internet, believe it or not. Would call in, and Eric Show, a guy that worked here in the athletic department, would put the phone up against the radio, and my dad would listen for an hour and a half, listen to the game on the radio by way of telephone. So I wonder what those long-distance phone bills must have looked like. But without their presence of my mom, my dad, and my 3 siblings that all back in Oregon, I wouldn't be here. They've supported me from elementary school all the way through where I am today. I know they made a major sacrifice 3 years ago. They all flew out to be part of my Hall of Fame induction here, and I had just an unbelievable weekend. And I know they're excited about the opportunity to get to watch the Yellow Jackets again. And now he doesn't have to use the telephone; he'll be able to watch it online, which will be a great experience for him. My wife and 3 kids made it up. I wanted to obviously. I want to thank her family. She's a Montana girl, and most of her family is spread throughout Montana. She's got a couple sisters and a lot of family that live in Billings. We were really, really excited to get closer to them. That's what they told me to say. And I know that my 3 daughters are really excited about being closer to their cousins and getting a chance to grow up in Billings. And then I want to thank my wife and 3 daughters. Sarah is an MSU Billings alum. We met here 15.5 years ago in Petro Hall. We both lived there, or we both lived in the dorms over there, and we've been together ever since. She and Clara, and Marcella, and Katie have to put a lot of sacrifice to be the wife and daughters of a college coach with the time we put in, and they've done, through the last 10 years. Specifically, Sarah, she's had to see some ups and downs through the college athletics. I wanted to thank a couple coaches that have really gotten me to the point I'm at, very instrumental in my life. Fellow alum Pryor Orser recruited me to MSU Billings during the 1993-94 season. I wouldn't have come here had he not recruited me to play. Later, when I was looking to get into college coaching, sure enough, Pryor was the first guy to hire me in 2001. And I spent 6 great years with him, and I know I wouldn't be standing here today were it not for him. And I got a chance to talk to him today, so it was a good experience. I spent a lot of time playing for Coach Kars, played 3 years for him. Some of his methods were a little bit unconventional, and I told him this during my Hall of Fame ceremony. He did instill great discipline in all of his players. He taught us to work hard, smart, and together. He pushed most of us to places we had not seen before, and every time I either drive up Airport Hill or drive down Airport Hill, I think about all those tough conditioning sessions we had. And many of you guys get used to Airport Hill when you walk out there and take a look at it. Another thing he really did is he made sure we had an incredible balance in our life between the academics and hoops. Many of my former teammates not only graduated from MSU Billings, but are still great friends to this day. And I plan to use a lot of those qualities that Coach Carson instilled in us when I built this program. And finally, I wanted to thank the hundreds of boosters, friends, and fellow alums that have supported me for this position over the last 3 weeks. Many of those people volunteered phone calls, letters of recommendation, and emails throughout the course of this process. I got a chance to read some of the letters, and many were quite humbling. And I don't know if I can live up to some of the things that were in some of those letters, but I'm going to do everything in my power every day when I come to work to do just that. I'm excited to get started. It's an honor to be the next head coach. It's an even bigger honor to be the first alum given this task. And I'm the 13th head coach, and I guess hopefully it's lucky number 13 for me. Thanks again, and go Yellow Jackets.
Time we'll be taking questions.
I wonder how many candidates you guys had.
Counting, it's open until filled, so now it's officially filled, but we actually had a couple in today. I believe the last count I made was 154.
And you brought how many finalists you were now?
We did,
on the campus?
Yeah, we did 8 phone interviews, and we did the 1 on-campus interview. Yep. And back when we had Coach Carson, we did the same. We did about 4 phone interviews, 1 on-campus interview.
The selection committee last time around was quite large. What would you guys whittle it down to this year? What was your thought process there?
Yeah, not only was the process a lot faster, as you as you noticed, but we had a much smaller search committee. I think last time we had about 22 or so, and this time we had 7. So we were able to move quickly, and easier to get 7 people together every day to talk and compare notes and have discussions than it is to have 22 people.
Jamie, you obviously know what's happened here with this program from the time you were here, some of its best years to where we are today, and what's kind of happened in between. How confident are you that, and what specifically do you need to do to get this program back to where it was in the mid-1990s?
Well, I think, most importantly, I know that when I was in this exact same situation, we spent very little time talking about what had gone on, because there's nothing we can do about what's gone on. Our main focus is building every single day. We need to start building the program in the right way. The only way I know how to do it is by working hard, by doing things the right way. I had great teachers. The 2 guys I mentioned, Coach Carson, in my 3 years here, seeing how a true program is run. Because, in all honesty, when I was a freshman, it wasn't, things were not very good at that time. We were 5-21. Academically, things weren't good. There were some other things going on. So my next 3 years were really, really special to see how a program is run. I spent 6 years as an assistant down at Colorado School of Mines, which is a high academic school, and learned a lot about the Division II process. Because when you're a player, being a player versus being a coach in a program, entirely 2 different things. And I know a lot of players, they have no clue of the stuff that goes into building the program and goes in on a daily process. So I spent the 6 years there that helped me understand what's the right way to build programs. And I'm not going to do everything right. I'm going to make mistakes, but we're going to work hard daily. We're going to try to do things the right way. And we're gonna recruit guys that want to be Yellow Jackets. That's the one thing I can sell. I'm a former Yellow Jacket, so I want to recruit somebody that's not only going to represent my program and me, but we're representing all the alums and this university.